Boker Tov. I was hoping to give you a better backdrop than my car, but it's raining out, so at least you'll have the beautiful sound of rain. Yoresh, I believe is one of the Hebrew words for rain in the background. Revelation chapter 1, verses 7 and 8. We're looking at these beautiful verses, and after a great description, remember the triad description of Yeshua as the one who's the firstborn from the dead. Remember, he's the one who, he's coming again. He's coming, and all the description of the Messiah, John exclaims, he erupts in worship as he's describing him coming again, and then he says he's coming. He says, look, he's coming. He's coming with the clouds. And so let's just start there in verse 7. Listen to that rain. It's getting heavier. I was going to do it outside in the rain, but I couldn't keep the papers dry, even though I would have been wet. So John combines, Yochanan, his Hebrew name for John, combines the visions of Daniel and Zechariah. Daniel the prophet and Zechariah the prophet. Daniel's vision, I saw him coming. He says, remember that vision I was watching in the night visions. He says, and I saw one like the Son of Man, Ben Adam, the Son of Man, coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was brought into his presence. Dominion, glory, sovereignty are given to him, and to all that all peoples, nations, languages should serve him. Everlasting dominion. Daniel saw the vision of the coming one, the Messiah. Now, a lot of people have different ideas about about when Jesus will come and what will be like, and lots of ideas about the anti-Messiah, and by the way, Jason teaching a great prophecy class on a series on prophecy and who the anti-Messiah. Boy, you should get in on that class. It'll be this Shabbat after service again, I believe. And we're going to be in our fellowship hall at the little commercial fellowship hall at our normal location. Thank God, after the flood they had, so we had to skip service last week, but we'll be there again this Shabbat at our normal location for Cold OD at Gateway Community Church there on Franklin Road and Moores Lane, 11 a.m. in the fellowship hall. And I saw Pastor Allen last night, and he said we're all set. So this live stream may be difficult, so you'll want to be there in person. I don't know how that's going to work. We're going to do our best, but whatever happens, happens. If it works, it works. But either way, we will be there. But Jason teaching a class afterwards, after the service, going to be great, God willing. And John combines Daniel's vision of the Messiah coming with Zechariah's description of when Yeshua returns. There'll be a great mourning. There'll be a great lamentation, a crying out of him who we have pierced. We shall look upon he whom we have pierced and mourn for him. Lament over as one mourns for his only son, losing his only son. Nothing more grievesome than, nothing more tragic and hard to bear than when one loses their only son. And this is God experienced that. We know personally what that's like. And this is the day our son departed to be with the Lord. Actually, the day of the year when our son Samuel departed to be with the Lord. He's with the Lord. He took him away in Isaiah 57:1 from the evil that was to come. Isaiah 57:1 and 2. He took him away. God gave me that verse. I know he did. We don't understand God's ways. We cry every day, every time we think about our son, we cry because we miss him so much. He was such an amazing gift of God for the time we had him here, the 30 years we had him here. But he's with the Lord, and nothing more painful than losing your son, and a parent that loses their son. Many in Israel right now going through that heartache of losing their child in warfare. And I'm sure many as well in Gaza under the horrible regime of Hamas, losing their children as well, because Hamas uses human shields, the civilians as human shields to carry out their terroristic plans. It's a horrible thing. But God lost his son. Of course, he was resurrected, and if we know the Lord and our children of the Lord, they will be resurrected as well. And David said, I cannot go, he cannot, he cannot come to me, but I cannot go to him, or he cannot come to me, but I will go to him. I will see my son again when David lost his son, and we will see our loved ones again. Well, all that to say, John combines John in this book, in this passage, the visions of Daniel and Zechariah 12:10, Daniel 7:13, in his description of Yeshua returning. He's returning to a hostile world, a world that's his enemy, that is against him, and he's going to reveal his absolute, ultimate, universal sovereignty. And it's so immediate and so certain when it happens that he cries, look, he's coming. Look, there he is. Finally, here he is. It's now. But now when it happens, boom, he's coming. And he's coming with the clouds. With the clouds. Meta in the Greek means with, not in the clouds, although that's true. It's also stated. But with the clouds here, not on the clouds. On the clouds, although that's true, that's stated here. But on the clouds, Nephalon, I'm looking at the Greek, Nephalon, with the Nephalon, the clouds. Now, Exodus 13:21, the Lord, Adonai, went before them in a pillar of cloud by day to lead the way, in a pillar of fire by night to give them light. And the glory of Adonai appeared in the cloud in Exodus 16:10. So here's the cloud. Matthew 17:5. Here's another verse. While Yeshua was speaking, while he was still speaking, suddenly a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice from out of the cloud saying, "This is my son, whom I love. With him I'm well pleased. Listen to him." Hear him, listen to him, pay attention to him. My son, Beni, my son, Beni. This is my son, Zebani. This is my son, God said. And so the cloud, God's presence. Acts 1:9, after saying all this while they were watching, after Yeshua spoke to them, behold, the angels rather, behold, one like a son of man coming, while he was watching, he was taken up. After he spoke to them, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. So he was speaking to them after his resurrection with the disciples, and a cloud suddenly receives him. A cloud receives him out of their sight. Boom. The cloud takes him, and he's gone. The cloud. Daniel 7:13, I was watching in the night visions, behold, one like a son of man coming with the clouds of heaven. Matthew 24:30, then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, then all the tribes of the land, probably should be land here, not earth, will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming, here it's on the clouds of heaven, with power and great glory. With power and great glory. So he's going to come on the clouds in Matthew's account here. Also Matthew 26:64, as you have said, Yeshua said when he was arrested, when he was under trial, he said, he replied, besides that, I tell you, soon after you will see the Son of Man, sitting at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven. Wow. Coming on the clouds of heaven. He's coming back. He's coming back. It's certain. It's sure. He's coming back on the clouds of heaven. Now, Mark's account, Gospel of Good News according to the Besorah, the Good News according to Mark, I am, Yeshua said, and you shall see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the powerful one, and coming with the clouds of heaven. With the clouds of heaven. Well, I think with the clouds, already, I think it's Hebrews 12:1, my opinion. Therefore, since we have such a great cloud of witnesses surrounding us. Let us also get rid of every weight and the sin that so easily entangles us, the entangling sin, and let us run with endurance the race set before us, focusing on Yeshua, looking to Yeshua, focusing on Yeshua, the author and finisher, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. We're focusing on him, but there's a cloud of witnesses. Wow, I've taught on it more extensively in the marathon and the race and the whole idea of what's happening. They're cheering us on. They're the martyrs. They're the ones that have given their lives in many cases for their following the Lord. Old Testament saints, but also those since then that have gone on following the Lord. So they're surrounding us. So he's going to come back. 2 Thessalonians, listen to this verse. 2 Thessalonians 1:7 says, at the revelation of the Lord Yeshua, this is one of the earlier manuscripts, by the way, written, the earlier letters, at the revelation of the Lord Yeshua from heaven, not my car ceiling, but from heaven, with his mighty angels in flaming fire. So he's coming with his mighty angels in flaming fire. So could be also the angels he's coming with, these mighty malachim, his angels, as well as the kiddushim, the saints. He's coming back. He's coming back. Aren't you excited? It's going to be amazing. And every eye, it says, John says, will see him. This word pas, it's pas, ophthalmos, where we get the word what? Ophthalmology from, right? Ophthalmology from ophthalmos. Every eye will see him. Now, how that will transpire, I don't know. Live stream all over the world, all over the planet, projected onto the sky in some fashion. God will have every eye will see when Yeshua returns. It's going to be incredible. And we'll pick up with this a little later. It's amazing to finish this and see why they will mourn, why there will be such a mourning because of him as well. Amazing verses 7 and 8 of Revelation chapter 1 of the Apocalypse, the uncovering, the unveiling of Messiah, his second coming, the central theme of the book. He's coming back, he's returning, and he's coming with the clouds. Lord, maybe it's with us, maybe we'll be with him because we'll go to be with him before he comes back. Maybe we'll be seeing him come with all those that have gone before and the angels and the saints. God bless you. Have a Yom Tov. Shalom.